What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? AJ Gore here, and we are live once again, another Tuesday night, and we have got a special guest tonight. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be a fun show. We've already had quite a few people from YouTube waiting in the background to come on. Of course, we're going to have our Facebook people jumping in right now. But first, let me give a shout out to people who were waiting patiently to jump on, and then I'll bring our special guest in. So, Mandy, good evening. Joe, how you doing? Gary E, as always, hello. CB, I wish you could hang out and watch too. It's going to be a fun show. Got a special guest, and it's not Al Norker pretending to be Skeet Reese this time. So, what else we got? Joey, how's it going? Ryan, how you doing? Joe Rollins, I think I said hello to you earlier. Joshua, yes, it's showtime now. Patrick Cox, glad to see you. Of course, I know we're going to have the Justice family in the house. Okie King, how's it going? Tim, hello. Milton, what's happening? Now, Milton has already had a chance to get his hands on Skeet Reese's reels, and he adores them. I mean, everybody that I've talked to that's actually got out and fished with them loves it. I've got mine rigged up. I've yet to put a lure on it, but I've only gone fishing once since I've had it, and I didn't throw that reel through a couple other reels, but I'm getting out there and doing it. Yes, I like this one right here. Justin Time says, no faking us out today. So you know what? I want to be honest with you. I'm going to bring him into the stream. I mean, I don't know if this is the guy or not. But
it is.
It is the real Skeet Reese. All right, there we go. Here, so. I felt dirty by that one last time.
Get the mask down. And,
Nice. Nope, we got him today, guys. The real Skeet Reese in the house. If you got some questions you want to ask for Skeet, some things you want to say to him, some shout outs. If you guys are watching via Facebook, and you want to meet Skeet, I might bring you on. Let me know. You got to behave. Who knows? But
hear them.
That's the quickest way to get banned is not behave, right? So, Skeet, how you doing, man?
I'm good. It's I wrapped up my season this weekend, and that season pretty much sucked. So
I love it.
I get that. Yeah, that was that was just a pile of crap for the season. Is what that was.
Sometimes it happens, you know what?
Yeah,
and
but I'm grateful because it's like I've been doing this I've been doing this professionally for 26 years. I've been tournament fishing for almost 30 years now. Damn, that just aged me. And then, but in my 26 years, I can only think of like 3 years where I really had bad years, and maybe 4. I don't know, not many. And this was one of those years that pretty much sucked butt.
But you know what?
This one.
It happens. I mean, sucking butt happens. You go out there, and that's fishing. That is fishing. I mean, you look at like Kevin Van Dam wrapped up his career, going down in history as one of the greatest anglers of all time. I believe that you're definitely following in similar footsteps is going to go down as one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion. I know that you're definitely, creating a legacy that people love. But like there was a chance Kevin was gonna win this thing, going into the days. It's like, is he going to end on a killer note? And then it just fell apart. You know what I mean? But like you said, this whole season sucked for you. But at the same time, for guys like myself and a lot of people probably watching, they look at it and go, this guy, you know what I mean? He's a 2009 Bassmaster Classic champion. You've been Angler of the Year quite a few times. I mean, you've got so many different accolades under your belt, and you have seasons that suck. But so, I mean, it does this. It gives hope to what, this isn't my year. Things aren't clicking, and whatever it may be, whether it's personal life, health, or the fish just aren't participating, or you're not paying attention. Who knows? Or maybe it's the gear. I don't know. Like maybe it's the
gear. It's usually the operator.
Yeah.
More often than not. So that's where I think this year it's been a tough year on me mentally. I think there's just a lot of different challenges going on, and I think I struggled, and so that's just that's part of it. But it's hard to pinpoint sometimes because I look at certain tournaments this season. Usually I'm pretty good at adjusting on the fly. A lot of my tournament wins have come from just fishing on the fly and adjusting a game plan as I go. I might have a shitty practice and then all of a sudden just figure it out during the tournament and make it all happen. But I've made a career of a lot of top 10 finishes of just fishing on the fly. And when something's not working, don't keep kicking a dead horse because you're not going to get it to breathe. So,
right.
and I'll usually good at pulling the plug and adjusting and trying something completely opposite of what I've been doing, and a lot of times can make that work. And I had tournaments this year where I was like, all right, I know what I'm doing is not working right now. I felt like, okay, my gut's telling me that this is what they're probably doing. Make the extreme 180 to go opposite direction, completely different techniques, patterns, thought process, and it still didn't happen. You're like, damn it, it didn't work. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? And so, yeah, I had several of those tournaments this year that I just left the tournament going, I really don't have a clue. I know I didn't catch them.
Right. I mean, and that happens, you know, to anybody in any fishing. So let me ask you this. I mean, like I made the comment, like it could be like your head's in the clouds. Like a lot of times people, they lay blame to, like I said, gear. And, oh, it's the wind. It's all this stuff. And in reality, you know, a lot of times it just comes down to it just wasn't working out. Things just didn't click for you, or your focus was wrong. And can I say, was it anything with the way they changed the platform this year? Did you like the fact that like year previous you could stack numbers and gain weight that way? Or are you more of a 5 fish limit kind of guy, but it just didn't pan out? I mean, you've won Angler of the Year. I mean, in the Elite Series, it's a 5 fish kind of thing, and you've had such great success on that platform. I mean, is that more your favorite, or did you really like the fact that you could just stack weight like that?
It's a good question. Is that I built my career off a 5 fish limit. So that kind of fits my style, that I could be a little more aggressive and fish for fewer bites, but maybe get better quality bites. So I really thought this season was going to like line up and be in my favor. It's like, all right, so these guys that are just chasing the numbers thing, that apparently wasn't that my thing either in the past, because I wasn't going out there and catching, 50 fish a day.
Right.
So I really felt like the 5 fish format was going to work into my favor this year, but unfortunately, I still like it. I mean, I still voted to not go to 5 fish limit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe that myself and a whole lot of anglers have hid behind 5 fish before, too many times in our career.
Now, why do you say that? Why would you word it that way, that yourself and somebody was behind 5 fish?
Sometimes it's just a matter, you may only get 5 bites in that day, and you might just get lucky and get 1 big bite to win a tournament.
Okay.
But the guys who actually figured out the best bite on the lake are usually catching way more fish. They're catching big fish, little fish, middle fish, everything in between, and they're just jacking their ass. And that's the guy that truly shows out and are in every fish format, whether it was a scoreable fish, depending on the variable minimum weight. So I still believe that showed who the best anglers were.
Okay.
In 5 fish limits. Yeah, I think we get to hide a little bit. And I know that I look back at so many tournaments where I was like, man, I barely squeaked in, and I look like a hero. I'm like, dude, I had no idea what I was doing on the water. I just got lucky. I got 5 today.
Yeah.
So I chose to, I voted to keep it the way it was. Unfortunately, there's, a lot of guys, it's hard to change history. There's so many guys that have spent their entire careers fishing for 5 fish, and that's what they feel comfortable with. Some of the fans, that's what they feel comfortable with. So, and I'm okay with it. If that's what the anglers and the fans want, then sure, let's do it. I'm good for that. So I still feel that a 5 fish limit should fit my style better, and I'm hoping to come back next season and put some whoop ass on some people.
Capitalize. Yeah. Yes, sir. Well, that's cool. I mean, that's definitely a good insight to look at it. I mean, you got guys that are just, oh man, there's one in particular. I remember Ott Defoe, like 2 years ago, he was way down on the leaderboard, and he got into some fish and just started screaming up the leaderboard. And then all of a sudden he's getting into quality. Like you said, they figure out that pattern and just bang, bang, bang. And it was like Ott caught like a 4 and then a 5 and then like another 4 and then like a 6. And then all of a sudden his reel's in the water. And I'm like, okay, he's got a donkey on. Like, and I was sitting there watching, and it turned out to be like a 9 or 10 pounder. And I'm like, geez, like homeboy just caught 36 pounds of fish in an hour. Like, and it's insane. So it's like, yeah. And I mean, he did good the rest of the tournament, but that day he killed it in one of those rounds. It wasn't a knockout round. I think it was a qualifying, and it was raining that day. And I'll always remember that. And I love Ott. Ott's a good dude. And it was just neat to see him climb the score tracker, for example, like that. And it brings a lot of insight to, like at that moment, he was the angler at that moment, that day. He was the guy that just was way back there, and it just started screaming because he figured it out. And I walked away, couldn't remember anybody else and what they did that day, but I remembered what Ott did. So I can definitely agree with you on that one for sure. So, well, that's cool. So are you wanting them? So they're keeping it a 5-fish thing next year? Does this limit to?
Yeah. Let's say 5-fish. And I guess I keep going back thinking about this last weekend, and you're talking about Kevin, and my hat's off to Matt Becker. I mean, he just flat out just jacked him that last day, catching 22 pounds. I mean, he won that tournament fair and square.
Yeah.
But it was the variables of fishing, that multi-day events. How do you survive? It's easy for somebody to say, oh, I would have done this, and I would have caught, I would have won. One-day tournaments are the hardest tournaments to win, because there's a lot more luck involved in one-day fishing. A lot of times, one bite gets you beat quite a bit. Multi-day tournaments usually takes the longer the tournament, the more the skill prevails. But I looked at that tournament at Saginaw Bay, and it was such a unique fishery, and it was like a tidal fishery with the wind. The water would fluctuate as much as a foot in some areas. But it's like KVD. I mean, we're all like, all right, Kevin, and Kevin's a good friend of mine. So I was like, I want him to win, and I saw that wind direction on him that changed. It came out of the east. I'm like, shit, he's screwed on this one.
Well, there went that one. Sorry, that one set sail.
That wind, I was like, as soon as I saw that east wind was going to come in on him, I knew he was going to have a hard time. But I wanted to win. It would have been cool. I mean, not that he needed any more accolades to, retire with, because his career's totally sucked. I know.
Not that he needs to add anything else to it.
No.
Speaking of good careers, you've had a pretty good career yourself. Like I said earlier, you're marching down this list of things that you've accomplished. You got a couple more accomplishments, I'm sure, under your belt that you're trying to whack out there. But I tell you what, one thing that you definitely have accomplished is becoming a fan favorite in the industry. I mean, anywhere you go, you're spotted. People love you. People know that yellow. You know what I mean? That legendary Skeet Reese yellow that puts you on the map. And then, of course, just the name Skeet. And then in recent years, I'm sure that I think it's the Ying Yang twins with their Skeet, Skeet, Skeet. Everybody just laughing.
Yeah.
All I'm seeing in the comment section, and I'm throwing it up there. I mean, heck, I've even got me and Jose are always screwing around and doing different things. And there's a video that Jose took at I think it was Red Crest. I'm here.
What are you doing, bro? Hey, excuse me. What are you doing?
Skeety.
Oh, wow.
It's just dumb little things all the time. I mean, it's just, I'm sure you get it everywhere you go, but the name, the brand, I mean, you've built quite an empire. I mean, your truck, I mean, everything about you is bold, unforgettable. I mean, you've got, what is it, an F650 or 750? What is it?
650, yeah.
Yeah, giant semi, basically, with a truck bed on it, and then, of course, towing this boat. I remember one of the first classics I worked, God, it was years ago, and I seen the truck go by. I was like, well, there's Skeet. Like, there's no guessing who that is. Like, I mean, it's just, you've definitely built a recognizable brand.
Well, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. It's, it's been a long career of just, I guess not looking back and always just trying to figure out how to catch the next fish and try to win the next tournament, or in a lot of situations, it's me just trying to figure out how to make new products, better products, improve products. I've had a lot of fun. So I think some of it's come from, obviously I've got a lot of tournament accolades. So fortunate from that, but also that gave me the platform to be able to go work with companies and design stuff and make stuff that has made impact in the industry. And so I've got a little bit of the business side that, I get the accolades for, the fishing side. So, and I'm not done. So it's
Absolutely not done. I mean, speaking of which,
I might. I think I'm 54 now, but I act like I'm still. I think I'm 16 most of the time.
oh, absolutely. You know, I mean, I'm 43 and I always like to kid around and play and have a good time. And when, I first started to get to know you at a couple of the shows, recently we've worked and I'm like, man, he's just a fun dude. You know what I mean? And Al is even like, hey, whenever you have Skeet on, just let Skeet talk. Skeet just goes. Like if you get Skeet out there, he knows what he's doing. He knows all about the show, and he's just a fun guy to be around. And that's definitely true. And we were talking about building a brand and being able to work in there. And you've recently just developed, in cooperation with KastKing, we've produced a reel for you under your guidelines and things like that. And it's the new Skeet Reese Icon reel. And how long have you been using it? And I mean, what are your thoughts of it so far? I mean, I love it, but I haven't used it. I just know that
you can't say you love it.
I know the technology behind it.
Oh.
I know what went into it. You know what I mean? From working in this side, I'm
you
like,
love the way it looks.
This is a banger. Like. I do love the way it looks. I love the way it feels, but I already know from the designs, the development that we put into it, because I know that side of the field. I'm like, this is going to be a banger right here. And so far, everybody's saying it is.
Well, so yeah, that's one thing that I can say. That I did not engineer the reel because obviously I'm not a mechanical engineer. I just know what I like. Okay, but see that thing, you're actually supposed to take it on the water and push the button and cast.
Oh, is that what you do?
It's not just art. It doesn't, just sit in there and it's designed to actually cast a lure and try to catch a fish. So,
all right, I'm gonna use it this week and catch something on it.
Don't go fishing, go catching. I hate fishing. I love catching. So,
yes.
Anyways. So as far as the Icon series, I mean, it's a collaboration with KastKing, and they understand their technology. They know as far as which ball bearings, aluminum frames. I just knew that I wanted certain gear ratios for functionability. I wanted certain comfort in the hand as far as the palm plates, braking systems, and handle lengths, paddle styles. So that's the input I was able to, have in the design of the process of the Icon series. And, but as far as, the actual mechanical engineering of that's way beyond my pay scale.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a fantastic reel. It shares a lot of design qualities to some of our top performers, and of course that goes into the design. And of course, with your influences, your great backgrounds and things like that, to just give it that polished edge and that feature. It's fantastic. Like I definitely I love the baitcaster so far from what I've seen of it. I've got to get me a spinning reel coming, and of course now what do you with a 7:2 gear ratio, that's in my opinion, an all around great gear ratio.
That's, yeah.
Are you more of a traditional higher speed gear ratio? Will you start to lean more into the high speed gear ratios, or does 7:2 kind of peg out for you?
No. 7.2 is not my limit by any means. So, Speed Demon is like if there's certain types of fishing, when maybe it's a frog or flipping, where I want the fastest gear. If I can get a 20-1, I would probably do it. So to me, like one of my absolute most prideful things in the water is efficiency. Every cast being the best possible cast I can make. Making sure that lure is back in the boat as quick as possible and getting the next cast out, and making sure that lure is presented right in that particular strike zone for the right amount of time. And when it's not, get your bait back in the boat. So there's times higher speed ratio come into play, and the Speed Demon does that. But a 7:2, I mean, that's like my crankbait fishing, my spinner baits, my chatter baits, it's top water. That does the bulk of my fishing. I mean, a jig, it doesn't matter. Right. That covers, I'm going to say that covers about 85. I'm just pulling a number randomly out of my butt right now. For 85% of my fishing will be the Icon, a 7.2 on that one. That is the heart of it, heart and soul of it. I
got to agree with you. I can't tell you how many people, like when we first started diving into the high speed gear ratios, they naysayed against it. They were like, that's just, what in the world would you use that for other than a buzz bait or this and that? And some people even complained that a 7.2 is too fast. And when you said I use it for crankbaits and all this other stuff and spinners, and I'm like, that's my go-to right there. 7.2 to 1. If I had to pick one ratio that I was stuck with, I'm on a desert island, or there's just a desert island. I'm sorry, a desolate island somewhere, you know what I mean? And I feel like I'm on a desert island out here in Arizona. But, I had one gear ratio to choose from at a bait caster. It's going to be a 7.2 to 1. It is, absolutely, 100%. And everything that the Skeet Reese reel is stacking up to be, it's going to be a huge player for a lot of people. I'm excited to get out and put it to work. But like I said, I've just watched person after person just appreciate it.
But it's got, it's fairly large capacity spool. So it's not a shallow spool. So, if you're casting it doesn't matter. If you're making long cast, you need that spool capacity. Where shallow water, shallow spools doesn't have the spool capacity for me. I'm a bomber. I want to chunk far real fast. But it is so smooth. The reel is absolutely so smooth. The braking system on it, it's like I backlash now less with the Icon than I have with other brands reels in years. So fortunate from that standpoint. And then the spinning reel, it's like we're talking about the baitcaster, but the spinning reel is just the drag is silk smooth, and to me that's like two things about a spinning reel that you need to have: high speed and smooth drag. You can go this way, back this one, whatever, how you want to do it. It's either one. To me, that's everything, because if I'm fishing a spinning reel, I'm either throwing a drop shot or Ned rig or weightless worm, whatever it might be. You're working that bait. You're only in a strike zone a very short amount of time. So the time that bait is working in whatever, it's a 5-10 foot zone that you're actually working that bait. You've got another 55 or 35 or 65 feet of line out that is just, you got to get that line in. So that's where speed is crucial. And to have a 5-to-1 gear ratio is like a complete waste of time for a spinning reel. You're doing this and your lure is going, yeah. So when I reel, I want my bait to come back fast. I want to be able to make, especially now, whether people like it or not, forward-facing sonar and target fishing in front of a 100-foot cast on after targets to a fish out there, and you screw a cast up by 5 feet, you got to wind that line back in. So it's like, it's efficiency, man. You want to be back in there, line that cast back up and get it right to that fish. So speed is number one. And then because we're fishing light line, a lot of times you need that smooth drag. And it's like a fish is pulling, man. You don't want to go gate. You want to go zzz. You want that.
Yes.
Butter.
That's it. Smooth drag is all about, especially when it comes into finesse fishing. Do you use a lot of light lines on your spinning reels, or are you more of a
I'd say my go-to line is 10-pound Berkeley Nanofill.
Okay.
That's my main line for most of them. 12's the heaviest I typically use, unless I'm doing some stupid backwater skipping fluke and 2 liters. So most of the time it's 10-pound Nanofill, and then I'm going to run either a 6, 8, or 10-pound fluoro leader off of that. That's my setup for 99% of my spinning rod fishing.
Nice. Now, Adam Robinson, he's got a good comment here. Skeet Reese signature rods and reels have always given you a lot of bang for your buck. There was a story I heard a while back that you ended up, and the rods that you use and the reels that you use are the same reels that anybody can buy off the shelf. As a matter of fact, I heard a story about how you got burglarized in your boat at a tournament, and you had to go buy rods, and didn't you have to buy them off the shelf?
The store kind of, I had to go buy some reels. The store kind of helped me out with some rods. I got enough. I had to go buy enough for, to get me through a couple of days, and then I got some more shipped in. Everything that I've ever fished from a rod and reel standpoint is the exact same product that anybody can go buy off the shelf wherever it was.
If I was
I've never had anything custom built for me.
If I was that store, I'd have been like, Skeet Reese shops here. So taking a picture with you. So Now, I know that KastKing is building signature series reels for you. You got some rods coming too, don't you?
I do. I've got Reese Fishing as a brand I'm actually launching on my own. And it's something that I've always licensed with everybody. I've been in the rod business licensing and doing signature products for 25 years. I've had signature rods and things. And so I'm pretty familiar with it. But I've always licensed with other people to, I help them design something. I put my name on it. They sell it. They, manufacture it, sell it, and I get it, a royalty off it. So I'm actually, it's been pretty nice. Don't get me wrong. It's been great. But I'm taking it to a new level. I'm actually creating my own company, my own brand. So Reese Fishing will have its own line of rods. And the process has taken way longer than I anticipated. Obviously, COVID screwed a lot of things up, but I'm also really particular about what I'm doing, and I'm working on new designs, new technology that I think will make an angler's day on the water way more enjoyable. So,
nice.
But it's been quite a process. It's a new process for me. I mean, I've never dealt with the manufacturing side of it and the actual every component, and it's like, oh wait. It's a lot more work to it. So actually,
it is.
Anybody that owns their own businesses, they'll know that it's a lot more work. And so, but I am looking forward to it. We should be launching hopefully live the beginning of the year. So January 1 is my target date to launch Reese Fishing. And so it's kind of, and this is how, if we're going to get into this, is that I actually reached out to, because I wanted to do my own line of reels as well. And I was trying to find an OEM company to actually build reels for me. And so I actually have my own Reese Fishing reels. And then Al Noriker and I have worked together for years. We're good friends. We talk all the time. And he finally came to me. He's like, look, he goes, why don't you fish KastKing reels and we'll just do some signature stuff with you and we'll work together. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, that really makes sense to me, is that you guys, you have the engineers, you have all that in place to build product beyond what I could possibly do on my own. So, and that's how we came to be. So we're going to we're partnering on the reel side. I get to be part of the KastKing team and the reels, and then I'll do, my rods on the side. And so I get my cake and eat it too.
That's it. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that build rods for a living and build it on the side, and they can say they have their own series of rods. But to build a flagship series of rods, streamline it, and then put a quality product out there for the masses, but yet still have a warranty system, and then all the different logistics that go with that. That's you're not just a rod builder out of your garage anymore. I mean, that's huge. Yeah. And then now to take on reels. I mean, there's not a whole lot of people out there building fishing reels in their garage and then selling them. I mean, rods is one thing. You can make your own rod in your garage. You can probably make your own reel, but that's a lot of engineering and time and everything else. And then if you have any manufacturing hiccups or woes and customer service and shipping, it's a nightmare. I'm sure it's going to be crazy. Well, I'm looking forward to see that new series of rods. I mean, everybody loved the Skeet series of rods when they came out. Of course, we're already loving the Skeet series of reels. I mean, it's pretty awesome. You got any other surprises or anything coming that you want to sneak out there?
Ooh, what do I have? There's always something in the works.
You're not sitting on your hands, that's for sure.
No. No, I think that the Reese Fishing it's pretty consuming to me right now. And then, trying to just figure out all, like you said, there's so much involved in that, the logistics, and there's a lot. So I know this is what I will be focused on for the next 5 months. Really is working on Reese Fishing, and then obviously I still got all my sponsor obligations that I work. As a professional angler, that's my job, is still to represent all the brands and partners that I work with, and so.
And who knows what the future holds? Everything's constantly growing. Who knows what the future holds in these partnerships and things like that. Now, I got a question here. I got it up on the screen. James Young wants to know: does Skeet use BFS reels? Have you gotten your hands on any? Is that your ball game? Or you played with it?
I was shocked because the Kestrel
Yes. Yep.
is that's not my kind of jam right there. I mean, but
Understandable.
yeah, it's a different thing. But I just know that I fished. I don't know where I was fishing this season, and I put a Kestrel on a little fiberglass rod, and I was throwing my little Lucky Craft SKT Mini, tiny crankbait.
Okay.
And normally, I mean, I would have to whip the crap out of that rod to try to throw that thing on 12 or 15 pound test.
And then you got the backlash and wind.
And if I got, if it was a good cast, whatever, it goes so far. I rigged that thing up on that Kestrel, and I have never cast a tiny crankbait so far in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was crazy. So it's actually, it was amazing because I know now that when there's certain times, like, look, we get in certain tournaments, fish are feeding on, tiny, like 3/4 inch shad. You're throwing like crappie jigs to try and catch these schooling fish. So yes, now I know that I have a reel in my arsenal that I could throw this tiny crap with. And I'd rather throw a tennis shoe swim bait, but if you got
so what you're telling me,
you got to throw a crappie jig.
Is in your elite series you have, and the future you have maybe, and probably are going to be keeping a Kestrel on the boat with you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I have, I've got 3 of them that are in my reel bag. They're with me at all times, so that I know, because I've never experienced that before. I didn't realize that you could actually use a bait casting reel and cast. You can use light line, but it just cast that small light of baits that efficient. Like
without the headache of backlashing, overruns, and things like that.
That was pretty amazing. It's like, so I could see where, it's kind of fun for the guys that are in that, small bait, little backwater, tiny.
Oh, it's a whole lifestyle.
It's a whole new culture. It is. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty neat. Now, I know we'll have you on for 30 minutes here, and I'm kind of eating up your time, but I got one more question for you. Skeet, do you have new lures coming out?
I don't know when they're coming out, but I do have some new baits that I've worked on. I've got a couple new designs in hard baits and a couple of new designs in soft baits but when they're going to launch, I don't know, but I know one of them I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't
yeah.
Can you talk about it?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Well, you guys are gonna have
That's a good teaser, wasn't it?
It is a good teaser. Now, since there is one thing you can talk about, what are your thoughts? Tracy Hill says, "I'm so glad that I subscribed to reels, the iReels." It's crazy. Some people think it's gimmicky. Some people think it is the new step forward in technology. What does Skeet think?
I think it's freaking crazy.
It is definitely crazy.
Yeah, look, I'm still I'm old school, and I'm trying to figure out. I understand it all. I don't know if it's something that I need. If it performs that much better than another reel, then absolutely. So if it makes me more efficient, better on the water. But I understand there's a lot of people out there that love information. That's like, and what the iReel is going to give you is like something that's never been done before.
Reports, data.
My brain cannot process all that. And like, okay, I'm not 100% into analytics, but that's what it's going to provide you. So if you're into analytics and you love that micro detail stuff, iReel has it real for you.
And it's neat. It's neat. But the iReel too also brings in some cool technologies with the new line guide system.
Yes.
The KastKing's entry into. We already have the auto mag braking system that a similar design is featured in your reels.
The line guide thing is like a mind boggler to me.
That is crazy. And
I'm like, how come nobody's ever done this before?
Yes, it's probably going to trickle down to a lot of other future designs, but then not just the data processing chip that gives the data, but in October we're releasing the iReel version with the electronic braking system, the computer chip that controls the duration of the cast and everything. So some really neat designs that are going to probably funnel into other designs, that that'll be neat. Who knows? Maybe we'll see a Skeet Reese reel in the future with that line guide.
Hey, I'm hoping so. As far as I think the line guide and like you said, the electronic chip for the braking it's like
Cast control. Yeah, baby.
cast control. I mean, that is like, look, I'm a professional angler. I've made more cast in my life than probably a whole lot of people combined will ever make.
True.
And you think I would be a master cast? I will blow shit up left and right still. I don't. I still backlash, and sometimes it's self-induced, sometimes it's not. But yeah, just knowing that we'll have that cast control available to where you're casting into the wind. I mean, it's like it's a fine line of disaster or making the so now we have technology that actually going to help us in those situations where it'll take my errors out of it.
Definitely. I mean, think about it, it's like driving truck. You know what I mean? Like I have vehicles that are standards and I have vehicles that are automatics. And I'll be truthful. Sometimes it's fun to drive a standard and you're like, oh, this is fun. But when you're tired, you're beat up and you're just got to go. Like if I had to make a cross country trip, I think I'd rather drive that automatic. You know what I mean? 'Cause especially if I'm like working or like in a tournament, you know what I mean? You've just fished all day long, and now you got to drive home. You want to be grabbing gears the whole way, or do you want to just put that thing on?
Go driving to San Francisco and being on a hill with the stick and the manual transmission is like we were talking about the other day. Yeah. And it's like this, and you got to go to a stop sign and take off, and you got a car that's 6 inches from your bumper behind you. So that's like trying to cast into the wind right there.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? If I can cheat a little bit and just take it easy, let's do it. So yeah, and it's not even cheating; it's just engineering. So
that's what it is. It's new technology. So that part of it, the new technology, and I will embrace that absolutely 100%. But am I going to, I don't know. It'll be interesting to like start looking at my own analytics and say, all right, so, okay, I was retrieving 4.23 miles per hour, whatever. I mean, however you want to look at it. When I caught that one, and right. So like just a little over 4 mile an hour gear rate or whatever, real retrieve. That's when I'm getting bit. But then all of a sudden I know when I started stressing out that I started reeling at 5 miles an hour, I didn't get bit anymore. And crap, I got to slow it down.
You slow it down. Yeah. Or if you got a co-angler in the back that's not getting bit and you're getting bit, I can tell you, slow it down. Like, no, I did slow it down. Well, you didn't slow it down enough. What's your reel telling you? Like,
exactly. So it's new technology. I'll have to learn how to use it, embrace it. That's just part of it. That's just if you want to evolve as an angler and get better, then you have to be open to change.
Nice. Well, Skeet, I'm going to turn you loose, but before I do, you got anything else coming up this year? Is your season wrapped up for the better part of 2023, or do you got some things in the bag?
We have the General Tire Team Series coming up, so I'll be filming and fishing my tournament in first week of October. Okay. And then hopefully my team, which is Justin Lucas and Fred Rubanis.
Nice.
So West Side team. And, so hopefully we're going to put some whoop ass on everybody else out there and make it to the championship round in November. So
definitely.
Outside of that, it's just I'll be home. Business. I got some trips to Clear Lake, some sponsor hospitality stuff, and trying to catch some fish. And I'm ready to go catch some crappie is actually what I want to go do now.
Crappie is so fun. Yes.
It's so good eating, though.
It is, too. Crappie tacos, man. Not crabby tacos, crappie tacos.
Yeah.
And we're from California, which has got some of the best tacos out there. So, especially when it comes to fish tacos. So,
you're not far from Mexico either, dude. So, you got lots of good stuff going over the border there.
That's it. Well, Skeet, before turning this, how can people follow you that may have never seen you before, which I'm sure there's one or two out there who've never heard of Skeet Reese, but the world probably knows.
It's crazy because it's like I go around tournaments and dads come up, oh my gosh, hey, Skeet Reese, and they got their kids with them. They're like, hey, this, do you know who this is? And they're looking at me like, no. There's like 14, 15-year-old kids. And they're like, who's this? It's like, no, he's not a YouTuber.
That's the yellow guy with the big truck.
Yeah. So just it's Skeet Reese Fishing. So it doesn't matter whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, just pull up Skeet Reese Fishing and you'll find a little piece of me out there somewhere.
Awesome. Well, Skeet, I definitely appreciate you taking the time to make it. I know last time it was a last minute thing and just didn't work out. We appreciate you coming back for this one. So definitely, Skeet.
AJ, appreciate it, dude.
Take it easy and have a good night. Tell the family hello.
Thanks.
And thank you from everybody.
Thanks for hanging out, listening, and enjoy it. Go get on the water, catch some fish, and enjoy them KastKing reels.
I'm going to be putting that thing to work for sure this week.
Yeah, you need to go use that thing
tomorrow night. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I promise. All right, Skeet. Have a great night, man. Thank you. Care. All right, Skeet Reese, everybody. Now it's time to go ahead and wrap this thing up. But before I do, in honor of having Skeet Reese on the show, I want to give something away. I promised to give away, and I'm going to give some stuff away. So right here, we got the KastKing Hyper Seal waterproof tackle boxes, guys. I adore these things. These are fantastic. I cannot wait to get more. I've actually got a list. I've got a list set. I'm going to buy 14 more. I've already done the math on what I need to do to replace my previous tackle boxes. Not that there's anything wrong with my previous old like Plano style tackle boxes or even like the KastKing boxes here. Let me show you what I got here. Let me bring it up. Let's see. Let's share the screen. I want y'all to see what I'm looking at. Let's go with this guy here. Boom. Okay. So I'm going to be giving away some of these new tackle boxes, guys, and here's how we're going to do it. These are the new KastKing Hyper Seal waterproof tackle boxes. They're phenomenal. They're awesome. I have since swapped over my like Texas rig, flipping, pitching, Carolina rig box to these, using the smaller size box in the 3600, 3700 for my Texas rig, 3600 I have set up for a legit drop shot finesse box. And I've done the math and looked, and I've fallen in love with them. I'm like, you know what? I got to replace them all. I got to replace all my previous boxes, whether they're the Plano style or the KastKing style that I'm showing here and circling down here. They're great boxes. Nothing wrong with those. But when you get these guys, in your hands and you start putting them to work, you go, dude, there's a difference. There's a difference. So I've got 14 on my list. I'm going to be picking up 14 of these boxes and swapping all my stuff over to these style boxes. And I tell you what, guys, I definitely recommend the same for you. There's competition, has similar boxes out there, but not at this quality for this price. So guys, definitely jump on it. 20% off right now too on Amazon if you don't want to wait for your chance to win. But you know what? I'm going to give away a 2-pack or of the 3700s or of the 13700 and 13600. It'll be whoever wins is pick. So I'm going to do one for YouTube and I'm going to do one for Facebook, guys. So here's how it's going to work. Whether you're watching this live or in the rebroadcast, make sure you guys are commenting in the comment section at random. If you've already been commenting, you're already entered to win. If you haven't been commenting or you're missing this and you're watching this rebroadcast, you're like, well, why would I comment? You know, it's not live. Like, it doesn't matter. No, we want to see your comments. So if you haven't commented, at least let us know, hey, if I was to win, I would like to have 2 of the 3700 series, and here's what I'm going to use them for. Or Skeet Reese is my favorite because, or whatever. Just make sure you're writing in the comments, and you're following KastKing, and you're subscribed to us, and guys, you're going to be entered to win. I'm going to announce the winner of this giveaway next Tuesday night when I go live once again. So in honor of old Skeet Reese, guys, definitely check it out and enter to win your chance on getting a KastKing Hyper Seal waterproof tackle box. And guys, they are legit. I'm replacing all of mine with them. They're dope. They're dope, guys. So, all right, guys. Oh, yeah. Patrick Cox says the orange colors. They rock. They rock. We love them. We love them. So, guys, definitely make sure you're doing that. Robert Green says, AJ, do you need my address? Get them shipped out to you. Because Robert already, he's already commenting. So he's already entered to win. Same thing with Melissa. She's already entered to win. So, guys, definitely, like right here, Chris, you just entered to win right there. Please pick me. They will be picked at random, and you could be a winner. Pete, you got it figured out. Joel, my boy, Pascal, for show. Joel's in there to enter to win. And right here, I can't go wrong. Hashtag thick cheeks. That's it, guys. That's it. So whether you're hashtagging thick cheeks, skeet, it don't matter because tonight it's all out there right there. Yes. Al, you need it, guys. All right. Speaking of need it, I need to get off of here and make some dinner. I'm getting skinny, guys. I gotta feed the need. So right here, hold on. Let me go back up here. I saw a comment that I need to post right here. Al says, AJ, how do you enter to win? You just did. This comment right here could be a winning comment. So good job, guys. All right. So if you guys are watching live or in the rebroadcast, make sure you're commenting, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and make sure you're following us on all our different platforms, from TikTok at KastKing USA, Instagram, KastKing USA, or KastKing Community, to Facebook's just simply KastKing. Look us up, subscribe, follow. And then, of course, on YouTube, turn that bell notification on for when we go live. It's simply KastKing, and you've already got it figured out. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Skeet Reese was in the house, but has since left like Elvis left the building. Skeet left the building, and we will see you guys next week when I give away some goodies to you guys on another KastKing Live. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.